Welcome back. So let's talk about something we've all run into, right? That feeling when you start something new, maybe a fitness goal or learning something, and the motivation just poof, disappears after a week. New Year's resolutions, then they just kind of vanish. It almost feels like we're wired to fail sometimes. But what if it's not really us? What if it's the way we're going about it? Today, we're doing a deep dive into a book that really shifts that whole perspective. It's James Clear's Atomic Habits, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to unpack Clear's approach because it's pretty revolutionary. It's steps away from just relying on, sheer willpower or trying to make these huge, overwhelming changes all at once. Instead, it's all about focusing on these tiny, almost invisible improvements and thinking systematically. The results can be honestly remarkable.
Okay, Atomic Habit. It sounds intense, maybe a little sci-fi, but he's not talking about some massive explosion of effort, is he?
Not at all, no.
Yeah.
That's what's so interesting. Clear defines an atomic habit as just a tiny change, a marginal gain. Think like a little 1% improvement. The real kicker is how these tiny things compound over time. A 1% improvement daily doesn't just make you 3.65 times better in a year. It actually makes you nearly 37 times better. That's that compounding magic, but applied to, well, us, our behaviors.
Wow, okay. Just hearing that number 37 times, that really lands differently. And that ties right into his big argument, the one I keep thinking about. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. For me, and probably for a lot of you listening, that just flips everything upside down.
It absolutely does. Most of us, we fixate on the goal, right? Lose 20 pounds, write that novel. But Clear says, look, it's the system, the daily process, the routine that actually determines if you succeed. So forget obsessing over the 20 pounds for a minute. Focus on the system. Prepping healthy snacks, maybe? Or just consistently putting your running shoes right by the door. The goal's the outcome you want, sure, but the system is what gets you there, day in, day out, even when motivation takes a nosedive.
Right. So it's less about wishing and more about engineering your environment, your daily flow, making progress almost automatic, this idea of systematic thinking. How does he actually help us implement that?
He gives us this really practical framework, calls it the 4 laws of behavior change. They are: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Super straightforward. Want a good habit? Apply those 4. Want to break a bad one? Just invert them. Make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying.
Okay, make it obvious. That's the environmental design thing you mentioned. I started putting my vitamins right next to my coffee machine. Can't miss them.
Exactly. That's perfect. That's making the cue obvious, or make it easy. If you want to start exercising, maybe don't commit to an hour right away if you're rusty. Just 5 minutes. Or even just the act of putting on your workout clothes. Lower the friction, Make starting ridiculously simple.
Yeah, that makes sense. Removing the hurdles. But it feels like there's something deeper, too. He talks about identity, doesn't he? That part really struck me.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it gets really transformative, I think.
Yeah.
Clear pushes us to build habits that align with the type of person we want to become. So it's not just, I want to run a marathon. It shifts to, I'm a runner.
Yeah.
Or I want to write a book becomes, I am a writer. It seems subtle, but framing it that way, every time you perform that small habit, you're actually reinforcing that identity. You're casting a vote for the person you want to be.
It's not just doing, it's being. So wrapping this up for you listening, Atomic Habits isn't just theory, right? It's incredibly practical. A science-backed guide, really. It helps shift your focus away from those huge, often daunting changes towards these small, consistent actions that genuinely add up.
It's such a valuable read if you're looking to build better habits. Could be anything: fitness, learning, work stuff. And especially helpful if you, struggle with procrastination or staying consistent or just feel kind of swamped by big goals. It gives you a clear roadmap, a way to make lasting change feel achievable.
So here's something to chew on as we finish up. If that 1% daily improvement sounds tiny, just imagine the cumulative effect, not just on what you do, but on who you become through those consistent small steps. What's one tiny system, just one small thing you could start building today to shape that future self?